Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello, everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're all doing very well. Full time at the Oakwell Stadium. Barnsley 1, Norwich City 0. And Norwich City crash out of the FA Cup fourth round. If Norwich City had won this game, they'd be through to the last 16. And they had an interesting tie, probably against Chelsea at home. That would have been an interesting one, but that's not going to happen. Norwich City losing 1-0, probably putting in our worst performance of the season, and Barnsley deserved their victory. We were beaten by the better side without a doubt. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in this game. But to be honest, all the attention is on the league for Norwich City this season. Obviously, top of the table, and we're desperately trying to get back to the Premier League. So for me, it's one of those games which is disappointing, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It's one of those games which I've already forgotten about the first half. It's one of those games now which we just need to forget and turn our attention to the league because this Norwich City side have been absolutely fantastic. Norwich City made 5 changes going into this game. The defence was pretty much the same. We didn't really have any other options because of injuries. Teti and Lucas Rupp came in. Kieran Dowell came in. Poaheta and Ono Hernandez won the wings and Hugo up front. So a full change in midfield, and you could see that we were really disjointed across the midfield. It was quite poor. Defensively, we were fine in this game, but going forward, we were really poor. We didn't even have a single shot on target. That's how poor we were in this game. And yeah, some interesting inclusions. It was great to see Ono Hernandez back. I do love Adele. He's given us so much enjoyment and so many incredible last-minute goals and all sorts of things. He's a great character, so it's good to see him back on the pitch starting his first game of the season. Maybe not of the season. Certainly since September. That's how long he's been injured for. And Barnsley were excellent. They pressed us really high, and Barnsley are doing well in the Championship this season. Their manager's got them playing a good style of football, and Barnsley played like Liverpool, and maybe not prime Liverpool, but they certainly played like Liverpool in terms of their pressing game. They were absolutely brilliant, pressing us really high. For the full 90 minutes, not just the first half, for the full 90 minutes they were pressing us. And if you look at games this season when we lost to Bournemouth and Watford away, that they've beaten us because they've pressed us in the right areas throughout the whole 90 minutes, and that's why Barnsley beat us today. They pressed us really high, and Norwich City didn't have the quality to escape that press. In moments we did when Buendia came on, Skip looked more assured, but we just couldn't beat the press with the quality of players we had in this disjointed game. But as I said, I'm not too worried about the FA Cup, and the reason for that is if you look at it from a financial sense, it makes sense that Norwich City desperately try and stay in the Premier League. They desperately try and get up to the Championship because the money is ridiculously higher in the league competitions than it is the cups. But what's so special about the cups is the memories, and the cups are all about the fans. The FA Cup is for the fans. That's why so many people love the cup competitions. Small clubs get a ridiculous amount of money. Look at Marine, who hosted Tottenham. That's absolutely insane. It's all about the small clubs getting exposure, and it's also about magical ties where potentially a smaller club could get to Wembley and facing one of the big boys. But there's no fans this season. It was magical against Tottenham last season, but because there's no fans, it just doesn't have the same connection. And in my opinion, that is why Norwich City should turn their attention to the league. As I said, in terms of the first half, Norwich City defended well, but couldn't really get out of second gear. Barnsley pressed us very high. I thought Kieran Dowell was quite lightweight, and we couldn't really get Ono Hernandez and Poaheta's pace in behind. Jordan Hugo was up front, didn't get much service. It was just a really disjointed Norwich City performance. We had 70% of the ball, but most of it was in our own half. Most of it was from Grant Halley and Ben Gibson deciding, just to play sideways passes to each other, just having a game amongst themselves, really. Really lightweight from Dow, and we couldn't really create too many chances. Tim Krul had quite a few saves to make in the first half, actually. Quite a lot of them saves you'd expect to make, but he still had to make quite a few saves. And then going into the second half, it was much the same. Barnsley were pressing us really high up the pitch. They looked so well organised, so well disciplined, and I think they could potentially cause what looks like it's going to be Chelsea in the round of 16 some problems. And they eventually took the lead in the 56th minute. Ball comes in. Max Aarons, who probably a poor clearance away from him, should just be heading it behind for a corner. Flicks it behind his head, and there's Styles behind him, who takes a good first touch to move away from Ono Hernandez and fires it into the bottom right-hand corner. A nice strike from Styles. I think Aarons should be heading that up behind for a corner. Look, it's a ball in the box. Aarons should be aware of the man behind him, but takes the chance, and Styles finishes well. And then moving on, Norwich City tried to continue playing at the back. You could see the back four were disciplined, and they kind of were communicated well, because they played the whole season together. It would have been nice to see Mumba and Quintilla come back, but because of COVID issues and injuries, they couldn't. But as I said, continuing into that second half, Norwich City really struggled, and that's why on the hour mark, Daniel Farke had to make some changes. Yemi Buendia came on for Ono Hernandez, and Oliver Skip came on for Tetty. And I'm a big fan of Tetty, but what Barnsley were really good at, and what Norwich City didn't feel comfortable to, is pass it into Tetty in tight corners. The reason for that is Tetty's not particularly good at tight spaces on a football pitch, and what Oliver Skip's given us this season is that ability to play into tight spaces and to get out and to beat the press. So that's why Skip came on, Buendia came on as well, and then Jordan Hugill got injured on the hour mark. And with Pookie out injured, hopefully for a short period of time, Adam Eder out injured, although he should be back probably in the next week or two. Now we've got Jordan Hugill, which looks like a hamstring injury, which is not great. So that was poor. And then kind of moving on the second half, Barnsley hit us on the counter-attack on many occasions. Tim Krul had to make some good saves. But Norwich City had two big chances to get back in the game. And as I said, Norwich City didn't have a shot on target, but they did have a couple of good chances to equalise. And they came through Borjeta. Emi Buendia, who changed the game when he came on, really gave us a lot of energy. Beautiful ball to Borjeta, a nice dummy from Kieran Dow. And Borjeta, one-on-one with the keeper, hits the underside of the crossbar. And that's just his luck at the minute. Hits the underside of the crossbar, and then Norwich City had another chance in the 75th minute. A nice ball in behind, I think, from it might have been Lucas Rupp or Mario Rancic, and Borjeta shows his pace, such explosive pace to get behind the fullback. He's one-on-one with the keeper again. He's at a tight angle, and I think he makes the right decision. He cuts it back to Buendia, but it's a brilliant block by the goalscorer Styles. And from that moment onwards, from that moment, they didn't really create any more chances, and Barnsley deserved their 1-0 victory. They defended well, they continued pressing us, making it so hard for us. And when you've got players like Tetty and we're missing Kenny McLean, who's in great form, we couldn't really get out of those tight spaces which Barnsley put us in. On this topic of Borjeta, I've seen a lot of reaction towards him, which has been quite negative. It's understandable. He missed some big chances, and still hasn't, considering the money we paid for him, 2.5 million, hasn't really contributed that much. But what I will say about Borjeta, and say what you want about him in this game, all our best chances came through him. All of our best chances came through his kind of pace and directness. So, yes, it's a tough one with Borjeta, but I think he's trying really hard. It's just not working out for him at the moment, but he is putting the effort in, and I'm sure he will come good, because his pace and his directness does cause teams problems. But overall, Norwich City crash out the cup, and that's the way it is. But Norwich City must turn their attention now to the league, and I'm sure we're going to be absolutely fine. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on the FA Cup game, though, as Barnsley go through to the last 16 after a 1-0 win over Norwich. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.